Okay, so hello and welcome back to Hebrides Coins and Banknotes. And, well, this is a channel for collecting coins and banknotes, but I don't mind people who silver stack. I do watch some of the channels on silver stacking. I do watch some channels on the actual coin collecting. But in this video, this is partly coin collecting and silver stacking. So basically here I have a coins from New Hebrides. Now if you don't know what the country is, it is currently Vanuatu. So in 1982 they got independence and changed their name, and in 1983 I think, yeah, just looking at the coins here, in 1983 they introduced the Vatu, which is named after Vanuatu itself, or maybe it's a bit different. Anyway, so these are the coins that they were using, and because it was a condominium of British and French interests, so they both administered a place. They had two different postal systems, two different governments and judicial systems. They also had two different currencies. So this is the issue that was issued by the French. The British initially used British coins, so the pre-decimal coins, and when they decimalised, actually adopted Australian dollars. So the 20 cent was equivalent to the 20 franc, and this currency was tied to the Australian dollar. So pretty much 100 francs was equivalent to $1. And basically those are the two currencies that circulated alongside the place at the time, with the Australian dollar and the franc being phased out after they gained independence and issued their own currency. So it's a bit interesting. So I have done a video on the base metal coins that we have here, and these base metal coins in copper and nickel, so the 10, 20 franc are issued first in 1967, and then we had 1970 40 coins that were made out of nickel brass. So these are the 1, 2 and 5 franc, and these have a frigate bird, so they're actually pretty common. And all of these you're probably going to pay a minimum of $10 for, especially for the 1, 2, 5, 10 and the 20 franc. 50 franc you're probably paying about $20, and this was a single year issue, 1972. And earlier on, the actual place used the Pacific franc, and before that they did issue banknotes, and the smallest was in the 5 francs in 1941. So, and that's during the Second World War, because the French Empire pretty much collapsed in the Second World War. There was pretty much Vichy and the Republic forces, various places were allied with either of them. But pretty much when the British and the Americans came along, the allegiance pretty much switched to the Free French. So that's basically, and those older banknotes are actually pretty expensive. But this video, we're talking about the 100 franc. So this is the largest coin at the time. As I said before, is equivalent to $1 Australian dollar. Australia didn't issue a silver coin before. The largest coin in the decimal series that we issued was the silver 50 cent, and that's just in silver. And currently this is worth about $35 in silver value, and this is on the 3rd of May 2026, and this one's equivalent to roughly about $70, so pretty much it's double. And so if you wanted to buy one of these, they sell for about $76 to $100. If you want it graded, they're a bit more. And the amount of silver in this coin is, so the amount of metal is 25 grams, but it's only 83.5% silver, and the rest is copper. So basically it has 20.875 grams of silver. And the current silver price in Australian dollars is $3.36 on the 3rd of May 2026. So basically this has a around a value of $70.22. Now, what is the mintage? The mintage is only 200,000. At the time of 1966, the population of the New Hebrides was about 80,000. So there's 2.5 coins per population at the time. Currently, I think it's about 300,000 for the population of Vanuatu. Okay, this side has Mariam, so goddess, a personification of liberty, and she's on other coins of France as well. And the Pacific coins had her portrait on it. We have the initials Raymond Joly, who designed the coin, Public Franc, and this coin is in circulated grade. So personally, I'll probably pay a little bit over bullion, but I purchased these before the actual spike in bullion prices, so I think I paid about 50 or 60 bucks per coin. And here we have a totem pole. It looks like a person's face, and this one is from one of the indigenous groups of Vanuatu, and we have Nouvelle Hebrides, so New Hebrides, and that is in French, 100 francs. And here's the actual other coin. So this one's in better condition, and this one I would actually keep in my collection. So one of them, I don't need to. I actually purchased two, but I'm not too sure why. I just did. Okay, we have the two mints. So we have Jamie Raleigh, the coin engraver. So that's an owl on this side. And yeah, there's the owl. And on the other side we have, I don't know, is that a beaver or something like that? For the Paris Mint. Paris Mint, yeah, it was first running in 864. It's probably been minting coins on and off since that period. And this one seems like it's a little bit scratched, so it's probably been cleaned in the past. And these are milled, and also you can see that they're actually shining. So now whether these actually circulated widely, all the coins I've seen have been in this condition, so I reckon that they didn't circulate that well, because there was also a 100 franc banknote that they issued for the whole period of the use of the franc, and along with the Australian dollar. So there was $1 Australian that was equivalent. So really, banknotes filled this void, but there was, the 50 franc. There was also the 50 cents Australian. So this one's 1969, so probably more than likely could have circulated in Vanuatu, and similar in size. So basically, this would have been the highest denomination would have used in the actual currency. Although I wouldn't be surprised if 1960 you could actually get this coin. But as with the Australian 50 cent coin, this was phased out 1967. So this one, wouldn't be surprised if it was also phased out in 1967. But still, enough of them exist for it to be a fairly common coin. Anyway, so if you're going to stack Pacific silver coins, this is probably one of them. Obviously, the Australian and New Zealand silver coins are the more common ones. You could probably get New Guinea, but not many other places in the Pacific issued coins are actually at a price that majority of collectors can actually get. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care.